All right, folks, welcome back to another stop on the annual train. This is like Polar Express, you know what I mean? Going right in there. Christmas time, BoomBastic's Yuletide Christmas Special 2024. Booyah, doing it big in the building, in the place to be. Santa hasn't come yet, so we still got we can get real naughty tonight and then repent and still get our gifts in a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? Or a week, or tomorrow if you're listening on the Patreon. So, with that being said, over here I got Alex Hawk doing it.
Hello.
Alex Hawk on the network, known for things like the BoomBasticAST, the Dead Kids of Derry. Don't tell the public, but behold the pale podcast.
Ah,
Did I miss any of them, or is that
There
it?
he is.
no, that's all the three that I'm involved with,
Very
which keeps me plenty busy. It keeps me
plenty busy? Oh, that's the best way to be. And then on the other side of the ring, ladies and gentlemen, William
Ding, ding,
Coyne.
ding, ding, ding.
Ding, 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 ding. William Coyne in the building. Known for being a part of. Look at he's very upset already. Looking
Yeah,
for being a
you're
part
not saying you're not saying my name.
of
Say my name.
Billy Coyne.
There you go.
Billy Coyne, in case you would need to reach out for special effects needs. You know what I mean? He's the man to go to. He'll whip it up for you, something nice. Also, a member of, Dead Kids of Derry. Blood and Bud could be, I don't want to bring up Rest in Pieces on a holiday special, but Blood and Bud.
It's just on hiatus.
All right.
We're Jesse and I will be talking after the new year.
Very cool.
We chatted about 2 months ago, and we're going to see what we can do for some sort of a resurgence for Blood and Bud. I'm not putting all my eggs in the basket yet, but it's a progression and it's working out, and we're going at a good pace.
Good man, good man. Well, shout out Jessie. I know she's in Florida right now doing it big for the holidays. You know what I mean? We'll give James a shout out too. Dead Kid extraordinaire. You know what I'm saying? All right. And then also in the room, Kandis Alexa.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoop, whoop. From the Wicked
Y'all
Juggalo.
know where I'm from. Yeah.
Yeah. Wicked Juggalo Podtrash on the network. Doing it fantastic style. We'll shout out Brad doing it big in Canada town. Schooling it up. Wicked smart stuff. You know what I mean? A big merry whoop whoop Christmas to Brad. All right, next up, we got two new people to the family over here. We want to bring up. We got Chris Chef. Now, Chef, is that like a pen name or is that the actual last name? What's going on?
Calling him Chef Chris, if anything.
Chef Chris, yeah.
All right.
Last name, everybody butchers it, so we'll just leave it as Chef. People make fun of it sometimes, so we're just gonna leave it as Chef tonight.
All right, fuck them. They can't. They're getting coal in their stocking for Christmas if that's the case. Chris becoming a big part of the family over there. We met Chris recently. Nice. Hell yeah, recently on the Wicked Hollow set. He may or may not have grown up or done some schooling with the Billy Coyne.
We were roommates in high school.
Ooh, way back
on Cape Cod, and late 90s, early 2000s. Bygone era.
That is, we can never get them back. You know what I mean? That's the thing about time. You know what I'm saying? But next up, a man that time doesn't mean anything to this next man, ladies and gentlemen. A true wrestle champ himself from the Wrestle Champs podcast, the Reverend Bobby Ethier. How you doing over there, Bobby?
How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing? That's the main question. How you doing?
Well, I got two great Christmas gifts so far.
So far?
Yeah.
What are we talking? I know about one.
I got my virtual pinball machine.
Nice.
And I also got an air fryer.
Oh, yeah.
You can never go wrong with a good air fryer. You can never go wrong with a good air fryer.
I know.
Fried chicken in that.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
I just already used. I just thought I I got it when I got it out of the box. I made some Chinese sausages.
Oh, that's my favorite type of sausage, to tell you the truth. The red linked, you know what I mean?
We'll leave those sausage
Oh,
jokes, calm down tonight.
the sausages are making an appearance, dude. I see it. A cameo appearance by the sausage. Wishing I had a little sausage myself over here. Oh, that didn't sound right.
Nope.
It's so big it hurts my back, so I wish I had a little sausage. You know what I'm saying?
I could quote some Buffy the Vampire Slayer over here if you want.
Sure.
Here, Buffy, I got your sausage for you.
Oh my. Rest in peace, Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
And Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, well, yeah, I remember when they announced Rucker Hauer was supposed to be coming to the Boston Comic Con, and I think he passed away like less than 2 months, and his name was still on the roster.
Yeah.
And
We
it was
made
like, it's like I wonder when they're going to take it down. Thankfully, they did.
we made Joe. Yeah. If they're listening, the underground art scene was making fun of that, getting a good laugh out of them keeping his name on there after he was long dead. He was a headliner. He was I think he was like their main dude, like their main attraction that year.
But either way, just an amazing actor and an
Oh,
amazing
absolutely.
career and legacy he left behind. The Hitcher, I think, is one of the greatest movies, and Split Second, I think, is a great, little science fiction romp he did. He did a so bad it's good one called Bleeders.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say it's just watch it with your own eyes and come to your own conclusions, and you can do your own mystery science theater and riff on it. It's just one of those type of movies. But he was a great actor. In the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was he?
Yeah, he was in the Dark Knight.
Batman Begins.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Batman Begins. He was in the first one.
Yeah.
Didn't you get the memo?
Readers is a film you want to watch with somebody else's eyes, Bill. That's how bad it is.
Well, I got multiple pairs in the shop, so I can easily do that.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So we've all been accounted for. Merry Christmas to everybody. You know what I mean?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So we're gonna since we're talking movies, we'll go with Chris first, alphabetical. If you came up as Bobby, yeah, if you came up as Bobby Ethier, you'd be first, but you are a Robert, so you got to go second.
Woo.
All right, Chris.
Rookie on the spot now.
That's right. Dig in, brother. Dig in. Here come the hard questions.
All right, here we go.
All right. Christmas movie. What's your favorite? It's holiday time. Put yourself in mentally put yourself somewhere thinking it's almost Christmas. You're in mid-December type deal. It's easy to do. You got it.
Can I say Die Hard without you guys going, rah?
Of course you can.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I won't go that. I'm going childhood right now.
Okay.
You got to go Rudolph. I mean, my mom would always turn that on. It'd always be on. And it'd just
I
be
didn't like your Rudolph.
ooh, I mean, that's a classic. It's Christmas.
Those Rankin Bass stop motion from the 60s, 70s, timeless, classic.
Take that, watching some mushrooms. Watch that, taking some mushrooms.
Yeah, I can only imagine how insane that must look. And the funny thing is, from having roots with Chris, where I was in high school I went to before that, one of my strange nicknames I had for a short period of time was Humble Bumble.
Humble Bomb.
Is that true?
Yeah. And then it kind of slimmed down, didn't have the same effect, and it went away.
Humble.
But yeah, I mean those
Humble Bumble.
Just those scenes with Rudolph, his nose, he's like the outcast. I felt like that. I went to college early from high school and felt like the same way. So Rudolph, I'm just like, he's my boy, like find his way. He's got his glowing nose and he just makes that movie. And it always stuck with me over the years. And as an adult.
What type of sauce will you use? Barbecue? Steak sauce? Teriyaki?
I mean, it depends. I mean, I like to zing it up a little bit. Sometimes orange in the glaze, teriyaki. I mean, we can go all day with that.
Nice.
Reindeer. Anybody here ever eat reindeer for Christmas holiday?
Venison, but I don't.
Yeah, I've eaten deer, but not reindeer. I've eaten elk, but not reindeer.
Is it against the law? Is
I
that
I
think
don't
what?
know
so.
that they're prevalent. They're just not around.
I mean, you can import anything. I mean, this day and age.
That's true.
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of reindeer since I had it in Finland in 2005.
Well, you ate it?
Yeah, I ate reindeer in 2005.
How was
I
it?
heard it's a bit. Oh, sorry, big delicacy and like barbecue style, like on a shish kebab kind of thing. That's what I heard.
No, it was inside a pot. It was inside a pastry, and the topping was a chili mayo.
I support
Interesting.
that. Like a pig at a blanket type deal, but reindeer.
Yeah.
That's the best. That's the best.
Do you know which reindeer it was, Donner or Blitzen?
Hey, my parents, I watched that, like Christmas night, for the next day. It would just be like, we had a lot of dogs, like 3 or 4, and they would always bite the apples and they would say, "Oh, look it, the reindeer's got it." And I would believe that, probably until I was like 13 years old,
Dasher
14
and
years old.
Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But I do recall the most tastiest reindeer. Oh, Santa wants a piece of Rudolph.
Oh.
Any way you make it is possible. Braise them or roast them or deep fry. Every stomach's gonna glow. Reindeer, also known as deer meat. Venison is legal name. Marinate in balsamic vinegar to get
Woo,
rid of taste of game.
my
Then one
man, you know all
hungry
of it.
Christmas day,
Oh
sit
yeah.
at the table and say, Rudolph, you're so delicious tonight. Mrs. Claus cooked you up just right. Then he
Woo.
had some seltzer as he burped up with glee. Santa save me some Rudolph. He looks pretty tasty to me. On that, Mr. Bob McBob. Look at some, Mr. Claus. Will you please hand me the B2 steak sauce?
My man.
We should have done like a 7-inch vinyl release for the holidays of that single. That was beautiful. So yeah, those claymation Rudolph we're talking, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. Classic.
Those are
Abominable Snowman. Like
That's my
that
favorite
guy gave
part.
me nightmares when I was little.
hell yeah.
I had a little stuffed animal.
Cornelius doing it big.
I got an action figure of him, man. I wish I was at my house right now. I'd show you guys.
We'll see. We'll see the action figures soon enough. You guys ever see the Mad TV spoof of Martin Scorsese's Rudolph?
No, I don't think so. I've seen that. No.
Definitely, if you're listening and everybody here has never seen it, even if you've seen it, dip on after the fact, dip on to YouTube and look up Mad TV. Shout out Deborah
The
Wilson.
Rain Father.
What is it?
The Rain
The
Father.
Rain Father. And then Raging Red, it might have been for like Raging Bull, but it's like it's Rudolph with like a mafia sway to it, which is
Oh, snap.
yeah, they like he's shooting people. Cornelius is like a hitman, like the best tip. He's like what's his name? The Iceman kind of. But
Nice.
so I dig on that. All right, so Bobby, we'll pop over to you real quick. You're still on the show already, brother. What's your favorite Christmas movie to watch around the holidays?
But here's the thing. You can go all day long until you watch the marathon.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm talking about the annual Ralphie Festival.
Oh, all day long. What's it?
The
Christmas Story. Oh man, I can't do. I watch it once. I can't do no all day long Christmas Story.
Nope.
I can dibble and dabble.
Yep.
Watch while travel.
Yep.
I don't even like Christmas movies. Like, I've seen that one once or twice. That was good.
That's fun.
Well, here's the thing. Christmas Eve, it starts at 8 o'clock on TBS. But then 9 o'clock, it starts again on TNT, the different type of a Christmas story. And then at 9 o'clock on TNT on Christmas Day is the sequel, A Christmas Story Christmas.
I prefer, if I'm going to do the marathon deal, I put on Chevy Chase's Christmas.
Ooh.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Chris Long in the building, joining the show. How you doing over there, Chris Long?
Doing all right. How y'all feeling
Doing good.
tonight?
Actor extraordinaire from the Wicked Hollows film. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
I think you and
You
Chris
were very
just
festive. Sorry.
he's actually just ahead. Unfortunately, he had an accident. He's just ahead. But
Yeah,
no, he's got the body too. What am I saying?
I got quite the body.
There it is. The narcissist. Chris Long.
I mean, I don't have an Alex Hawk body, but I'm trying. I'm getting
Not
there.
many people have my physique.
you got to pay money for that.
It's true.
A Dionysus Greek bod, but a Greek bod.
Shizzle. I was gonna say I gotta wonder if anybody knows this. The Christmas Story was the director directed another very famous Christmas movie. Does anybody know what that movie is?
Black Christmas.
Thanks for giving nobody a chance, Alex.
I know. I was gonna say what? I didn't even get time to think.
Did you know it?
No, I didn't know it, so it's good.
I wanted to ask that before Billy came back because I know Billy would know that question.
I know. I was gonna say, can I phone a friend, Billy?
Bob Clark, the director of A Christmas Story, directed another famous Christmas movie. What's that movie?
Black Christmas.
Correct.
That's what I was gonna say, Billy. I would have phoned you instantly.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, John Carpenter worked on Black Christmas before he made Halloween.
Oh.
So he was building a nice little foundation for himself because he went to USC. I don't know if Bob Clark went to USC or if he had a friendship with him somehow.
So the Black Christmas 1974.
Yeah.
That's two favorite Christmas movie too. Actor comedian Steve Martin and musician Elvis Presley.
And also stars Olivia Hussey from Romeo and Juliet.
She's a hussy, yeah.
And Margot Kidder. Very, very pre Superman.
Margot Kidder, we seen her at a convention. She was very
John
nice.
Saxon have a small cameo in
He
there?
might have, yeah. He might actually have a small cameo in that. He's been in everything.
He's worked with everyone.
Chris Long, you were here. You've been here before. We've asked you what your favorite Christmas movies were, right?
I don't know if I've gotten that question.
Oh, well, there it is.
Yeah. No, I've actually every Christmas my daughter and I watch a movie a day leading up to Christmas. So tonight's movie is the Santa Claus.
Nice.
What my favorite movie? I think A Christmas Story is probably up there. Home Alone's definitely up there. One that doesn't get a lot of attention as a Christmas movie. I'm not gonna say Die Hard. Gremlins. Gremlins doesn't get a lot of attention as a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But I think it should
This
qualify.
household, it most certainly does.
It should, yeah, for sure. It's horrific and kitty horrific, all in its own right. Yeah, I get down with the Gremlins for sure.
It's amazing. I mean, it revolutionized animatronics as a progression in the 80s because it was before computer animatronics. This was basically rod cable animatronics. It was crude, but it was, pioneering. And Gremlins was the first because no one really had done anything of that scale. And Joe Dante really just, set himself up for a lot of shots of where he dealt with weeks, almost months of nothing but puppetry,
Yeah.
which just drove him mad. But that movie worked. Between Spielberg, Joe Dante, Mike Fennell, great script by Chris Columbus. It was just an amazing melding pot that came together and became a cultural parenthetical of the 80s.
For sure, for sure. Another one that was supposed to be darker, right? Originally supposed to be a darker film, like E.T. was.
Yeah,
Darker it's supposed to be.
Billy's mother gets decapitated and her head comes down the stairs as he comes home. They eat the dog. They go into McDonald's and they basically eat the people and leave the food, which was kind of eerie. Um, and they're almost like a virus. Like if you take one of them, they will all come after you. And that was kind of the driving force of that script.
Yeah. I dig. All right, next category. Traditions. We'll start with Chris on top. You know what I mean? That sounded bad too. So, chef. Well, the chef. What is it to call you the chef?
That works. That's why I put it in there,
Good.
Traditions.
Traditions, yeah. What do you have? What a Christmas holiday can't escape without this happening in your life.
I
Other
mean,
than, yeah,
Nintendo was huge, when I was growing up, and back in the day, it was mostly family. We didn't have cell phones. It was Blockbuster, renting a movie, playing Nintendo. It was my aunt, my cousins. I have two younger girl cousins that are like about my age. So back then it was, sitting around having hot chocolate, playing video games, and then before bed it's popping a movie, a blockbuster movie, depending on what it was, and it was sleepover. We lived right down the road, so it was tradition back then. For me, especially when I was younger, it was family. Big family. We don't see each other often, and then it was like, bam, all right, my cousins are over or I'm over there. Then my uncle comes over, and then my dad, my mom. It's just tradition was family time, movies around a fireplace, Nintendo. If we're good.
yeah,
I think it was a lot stricter back then when we were growing up in the 80s, early 90s. I
yeah,
got the belt a few times. We can't say that too much now in this day and age, but
yeah. Got fisticuffs.
yeah, it was the newest Nintendo game, Duck Hunt, classic,
Ahead of its time.
Blockbuster. It was like, pick three movies out, and that was our weekend, right around the holidays. Snowball fights, family, sitting around the table. I miss those days.
Duck Hunt, very ahead of its time, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah. You
Back when
always
they
wanted to shoot that dog, that dog always
laugh at you too,
was like, you can't shoot me.
then you shoot them.
We tried. I mean, that's when we had the old school TVs, you thought that thing was never going to turn back.
Yeah, yeah. The gun, I love the zapper gun too. I said now every gun has to look super duper fake, but that zapper gun, like yeah, after I had a couple of them, and one of them after the days of Nintendo when we went into like the Super Nintendo, maybe even Nintendo 64 realm. I remember I cut the wire to one of the zapper guns and just used it
Really?
like a gun. Yeah, I wish I had it now and didn't cut. I do have one over there. But I just use it as regular gun, like running around the yard.
Now people call it cops.
Yeah, now you'd get killed over something like that.
I actually took one of those Nintendo guns and I made it into a science fiction ray gun.
Whoa.
I made it years ago and I lost it forever ago, but it was cool. And it's while I was at Savini's, this is when I learned the concept of collusion, when you can basically take different bits and pieces of different kits and create something new.
There was Chris Long might even be able to get down with this one. I remember there was an era for maybe 3-4 years in the 90s where laser tag was like the thing. And you had the silver helmet. I wish I still had that thing. I had that forever, and it just got lost in travel
Oh
somewhere.
yeah.
You had the vest. The laser tag was cool. You guys get down with that?
Oh
Chris,
yeah.
Chris, I mean Long, and my Chris,
Ooh.
my Chris, didn't
Does he
you?
own you? Do you
Your
own
Chris
Chris the Chef? What's going on here?
Chris Guittard is one of my oldest friends.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is, didn't you and Derek used to play laser tag?
All the time. As soon as that sunset went down, we were sneak out. You know, we'd be doing homework,
Yeah.
sneak out the window, and we'd be as soon as the sun set, we'd be out there. You know.
Yeah, dude. Futuristic guns. Man, I wish I had mine. I remember it. It had like the it was like the circular thing your hand went in.
Yep.
It was very spacey. Chris Long, how often do you ever see them anymore?
Not very often. No, they're pretty rare. Pretty hard to come by.
Man, I remember I want like a couple of years ago, I think I looked up Trish. I want to get the helmet to like put it on like a stand or like put it, you know what I mean, something in the office or something. Because it had such a cool. It was all silver, if I remember correctly. It had like the reddish, clear plastic mohawky type deal, and there was the vest. And I think that the actual thing that rung if you got shot was almost like the size of one of those little like handheld games. You remember them? You had to get basketball and wrestling and stuff.
Mm.
Yep.
It'd be like it's a little bigger than an index card, but it would like Velcro to your chest, and that was kind of like the thing you would shoot. You know what I mean? The Tiger games.
I remember the Tiger games.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a couple over here. I got a Batman, and I got a Star Wars, a Star Trek, still in the case, which is nice.
Nice.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. It's got a slit down it so you could take it out, but you can put it right back in. You know what I'm saying? Very cool. Yeah, you can do laser tag. They're still doing laser tag. They got like little buildings you could go play, which it does. I don't know. It could be just as cool. Airsoft's huge right now. My nephew's into that.
No, laser tag actually is really cool. I took my 7-year-old for his 7-year-old year birthday party. That's what I took him to do. And it's just on the guns now. Like the guns are fully electronic and you shoot at the sights on the guns. You don't have to wear a vest. It's nothing like you just shoot at each other's guns and the lasers like pick it up.
Yeah.
That makes sense. We played with like 12 people. And my brother is ex-military, and he obviously stomped us all.
Yeah.
And but it was really fun. And then they got little arenas with a bunch of obstacles and a bunch of things you can hide behind, and like different lighting, and it's actually pretty fun nowadays.
Those ex-military people keep it too serious because I know my nephew for his birthday every year, that's what he does. And you definitely could tell who, ex-military is swinging from the trees upside down and stuff like that, trying to get you. It's tricky biz for sure. But tag, man, that was laser tag was where it's at. Also, Zap, you guys remember Zapper guns? Where like it was like with invisible ink.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was good too. I remember getting scolded heavy, getting people with the ink, and then it disappearing.
What was the version that came out in the 90s?
I think it's Zapper gun. I think.
Yeah, I think that was the original one.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
It's just if you think about that for a second, like it's like made to aggravate. Like the commercial was like you sprayed your grandmother's shirt and fucked it up, and she was getting ready to kill you, stab you with like the butcher knife, and then you'd be like, "Look, it's gone," and they'd be like, all right," you know what I mean? It's fun. Things were more extreme back in the day, which was it was a better deal. All right, the Reverend Bobby Ethier. What's your favorite tradition around the holiday season? What do you got to do? What's something you got to do or it's not the holidays?
Oh man, when you deal with family, you deal with family. Every Christmas Eve is mostly the time of year we spend with our family. Usually, when I was a kid, it was Christmas Day, but now it was Christmas Eve. And from 1995 till 2000 in the teens,
Yeah.
we had a we had Christmas at either my Aunt Leanne's or Aunt Barbara's. It was a Yankee swap and all that. But now I knew the tradition has been happening this year that every Christmas Eve I go to my cousin Joy's for a Christmas Yankee swap. You know, because with the date nut spread
Hell yeah.
and the fried chicken
Mm.
and sometimes Chinese food.
Hell yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know what's gonna be served in many times, many ways this Christmas Eve.
You
I'm
can
not
bring the fried
worried about
chicken.
that.
You could bring the fried chicken this year.
Air
Yeah.
fryer.
No. They ordered from KFC.
Oh, there you go. Make
They,
Popeyes upset.
they ordered from KFC. It's like I went all out this year for Christmas gifts for my family.
What about me?
Mostly for my
So it's
mother
about.
and
So it's
for
about.
my Yankee swap.
I heard some of the gifts you got. Very cool. Should be very happy.
No, this is the gifts that I got. The thing I got my mom
Yeah.
was a Bath and Body Works set of eucalyptus clearance stuff.
Was it Reese's PC and Skittles or something like that?
If you say the Starburst, that's for the
Starburst,
Yankee
yeah.
swap.
Oh,
Nothing wrong with that.
that's all good in the hood.
It's a plush. It's almost like a stuffed animal, but when you open up the zipper or Velcro,
Yeah.
you get 3 plush Starbursts or 6 plush Reese's Pieces.
Plush. The plush life.
Yep.
Stone Temple Pilots plush. Christmas Eve was when we used to get together with the family, due to the day too, but that's more of an immediate thing. I always appreciated the Christmas Eve. Now, Yankee Swap is something you don't appreciate as a kid because you get more gifts doing it regular style. But as you turn into an adult, you like Yankee Swap because you only have to buy for like one person or so. You know what I mean? It's good. I dig it. Chris Long, what do you got for traditional holiday things? The holiday can't pass without you doing this thing.
I mean, when I was a kid, we would always, well, first of all, we would always set the tree up on Thanksgiving Day or Black Friday. So I try to keep that tradition alive, try to set it up right around that time. And then as far as Christmas Day, we would always like open our stockings first. Everyone would open their stockings kind of all at the same time and then kind of show each other what they got. And then we would take turns with presents. So each person we would designate someone to be the Santa to hand out the presents, and everyone gets a present and then takes a turn opening up that present. And that's still something I do to this day. So that's kind of a tradition that I try to keep alive in my family. But as far as that's kind of my immediate family, my extended family, still my immediate, but my mom and my sisters, they're all in Florida now, kind of far away. So, as far as getting together, unfortunately, that doesn't really happen as much as I'd like it to. But trying to keep it alive with my kids and my wife. So, yeah,
That's all
that's
you
what
can. That's how it's done.
I don't know what's going on for me on Christmas Day. We don't know if I'm going to my brother's house. He's moved into a new house in Lowell,
Yeah.
or we're going to be having, or we're going to be ordering out on the Christmas Eve to get the stuff to be put in the refrigerator for Christmas Day.
You're gonna be in the refrigerator for Christmas Day?
No, let's
Bring oxygen with you.
Let's really put the Chinese food
That's
in.
not a bad place for it, yeah. I put
Mom's
it
gonna have her Chinese food, and I'm gonna have my Chinese food.
hell yeah.
We're gonna be separate. Mom will be at her house, and I'll be at my house.
I dig on that.
But it's also a different time about this. Christmas Eve, I'm supposed to be getting some money to pay for my Zoom bill.
That's a good gift.
It's not a gift, because it's
It's a necessity.
a necessity.
There you go.
Because I'm shoveling down $170 somewhat dollars for both the year membership and the license.
I heard that StreamYard just went up like $100, so luckily no one uses that. And Chris, I appreciate the gift give that whole deal of the everybody takes their turn, but I hated as a kid, I always hated being on display, being as everybody watches you while they're wanting to open up their gifts while you open up your gift. And it's weird. I got a weird thing where I don't like opening up gifts in front of people, like groups of people.
Yeah, but it makes it last longer that way too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It lasts so much longer. Everyone just goes and starts ripping open presents. It's over in like 20 minutes. But you do it that way, can get a couple hours out of it. Make it last a lot longer.
Yeah, it also adds, I think, to the whole spirit of Christmas too. You know, you get to see what the reaction to the people. You're not tearing through your stuff while they're tearing through theirs, and you see the reaction of what the supposed joy on the face type deal. They talk.
One year I got an Atari 2600. A year after that I got an Atom.
Oh, word up, Adam.
The ColecoVision Atom computer, but
Okay.
that was full of shit.
Yeah, you didn't like it?
We tried because it wasn't that technological like the computers are today.
You still have the system? I know you're a big video game guy.
No, I don't have an Atom. I don't have a 2600 either.
That'd be big money if you still had it.
Yeah, I know.
What system?
I still have my gaming consoles locked up.
Okay. Oh, locked up?
Locked up.
Why are they locked up? From you, keep them safe from you, or what's going on?
Yes, I got bored and I didn't want to play them all long.
I thought you were gonna say you're like a werewolf with playing games. You'll play
No,
them all day and
no.
all night.
Last year, I got Christmas money, and I
Yeah.
was able to get 2 Pandora's boxes.
Yeah.
You know,
Pandora's box?
Pandora's boxes. Tim.
You know, I heard you don't want to open up Pandora's box. I thought that was the story.
No, it's an arcade thing.
Okay.
It's like both Pandora's boxes had 26,000 built-in games.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
The machine behind me has 50 pinball games.
Is it
But I can't get access to my account because something's wrong with the email and my internet connectivity.
No, it's no good. You guys do anybody here ever buy any of those 1-Up arcade games that they started making a couple years ago? Those look pretty cool.
Oh.
No. Chris, you said yes. You shook your head.
Yeah, I had I don't know, came out maybe 3 years ago.
Ninja Turtles?
Nah, you know the classics, you know.
That's right.
I had like the re-release Sega Genesis, NES, and then the 1-Up. I think how many games did that come with? Like 100 maybe?
Well, the 1-Up is like the miniature arcades. Walmart has them for like $170. And I think it might like the Street Fighter one that has maybe like 4 Street Fighter games in it. There's a Ninja Turtle one that I think's the arcade version. They're just like arcade, but they're little,
like the minis.
Yeah, they're a little smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, I've played on a couple of them, but I don't own one personally now.
I used to look for them on the marketplace. People getting rid of them. They had a Terminator 2 one with the gun, which was kind of cool. Yeah.
I remember when that was an arcade.
What I got for Christmas this year was a Legends Ultimate Pinball Micro.
Yes, sir. How tall does it stand?
The thing about it is, the problem is putting on the legs. I have to get the right bolts.
Yeah.
Screw on the legs, but it's supposed to be originally for only a tabletop.
So you get it like on a kitchen table now, or?
Yeah, it's right behind me.
Is that it right behind your head there?
Yep.
And it what goes that there's a is it long or is it looks like the size of like a stereo kind of.
It's like a pinball machine,
Yeah.
smaller.
Okay. I dig it. I'm with that. Alex Hawk, how many pinball machines you got over there in that mansion of yours?
I don't have any pinball machines.
25 now?
25. No. I mean, I used to play them at the arcade, but I got nothing cool like that at my place, unfortunately.
He calls his bedroom the arcade.
You're Billy, you're in a toy store.
He's always playing single player though.
Oh.
My mom got it for sale. Originally, a pinball micro is like around over $500.
Yeah.
They got it for around $400.
That's a pretty good deal on a Black Friday deal.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Alex doesn't play single. He plays with multiple women at all times.
They call him the bigamist in certain circles.
We had a cameo from Ted.
I always have to
All right. So we got music real quick. We'll to start with the chef. Is there any type of music that you prefer? Obviously, maybe some Christmas music, maybe not even. What do you get into around the holiday season?
I mean, me personally, it's gonna sound really bad, but I like depressing music.
Around the holidays?
If I'm it's just something definitely around the holidays. It's just, especially if I'm cooking, like where I cook, I'll just put on some like Billie Eilish. I know that sounds weird, but some depressing.
That's worse
stories,
than the depressing part.
The robot.
Breakups, stuff like that. I'm just weird like that.
I wouldn't be
the robot.
I wouldn't be ashamed of doing the depressing part, but the Billie Eilish you should keep to yourself. I think that's
Yeah, you
I
asked.
said Billy Idol. I didn't
no.
hear Eilish at all. I heard Idol.
I heard a Taylor Swift song that I liked the other day, so I can't.
Hey, the girls are rocking right now.
Travis Kelce, my iron in my heart.
They rock
I
out.
love my Travis Kelce.
I didn't know I thought we had Taylor Swift on the show for a second there. That was pretty good.
But yeah, definitely.
I guess she
depressing
just turned
music.
35. Sorry.
She just turned 35?
Yeah, Taylor Swift just turned 35. I thought she was younger, I guess.
She's
Really?
she's
Oh yeah, she was born 80s, 88 maybe, 89.
Yeah. She's definitely killing it in her profession for sure. Didn't she outsell? Yeah, didn't she like outsell the Beatles or something like that?
The New Kids on the Block.
She outsold Twisted. I think she outsold Twisted, Kandis. I could be wrong about that.
Hey, that's okay. Her music is garbage, and like there's a lot of garbage people that listen to the music, so it's okay. I mean, it happens. Her tickets are outrageous, like thousands of dollars for like nosebleeds. Like what kind of human being does that? At least my heroes are legit. They're like people.
Taylor Swift's doing a side project with Blaze Your Dead Homie. I heard that's coming soon.
I'm in. If he can make it sound good, I might buy it.
That'd be a good look. Well, Jelly Roll, who's world's killing it now, he kind of came from the Juggalo. He came from the Juggalo world a little bit too.
I listened to some of his rap back before he turned Jelly Roll.
Yeah, successful.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I contemplated.
And like leading country artist, like whatever works, bro.
I tried to. I was like, every now and then an artist will get so big that I'll go, all right, I'm gonna go seek this out and see what the story is. You know what I mean? And with him, I listened to I think his latest album on YouTube. I don't want to give him no money. I'll give him the views though. We're nice like that. So, but I couldn't really get I don't really understand. You know what I mean? Why people like Jelly Roll so much, but
because he loves to eat.
He dates a porn star. He dates a porn
got a hot wife. Yeah, I was about to say he got a hot wife.
The bunny, but the bunny puts her bunny ears where they don't belong. I know that she started some like true crime podcast, and then serial killers were trying to like kill her or something like that.
I believe it.
Oh, Jelly Roll, you know him. He wants a snack.
For sure, he's trying to lose weight. We're gonna give him Bobby. You're gonna get over there and you're gonna fucking whip him into shape, dude.
No,
You
no,
gotta
no. I'm
put
not talking about that. I'm talking about snack.
snack
Snack!
like his wife snack.
Yeah.
I remember when he was in Wife Beaters with a microphone, just singing rap music in like looked like someone's house, like a basement or something.
Was he smaller at one point? Like, was he
No,
always been a big
he was
guy?
still pretty big. He was still pretty big.
No.
But
I
I mean, you hear him now and you're like, oh yeah, that's that guy that was clean shaved, wife beater, and just with a microphone.
I was waiting to hear the rest in pieces for Jelly Roll for a little bit, dude, because he was getting up there. There's another dude in the rap world. He like, have you guys seen the dude in the purple shirt on stage with the oxygen? You guys hip to this? It was at like a Juice World tribute, and this dude's like he sits on a couch. He's so big, he looks like fucking Grimace a little bit because he's wearing this big purple shirt, and there's like a girl. There's a girl, dude. It's like it's sad. It's almost like take care of yourself, or it's going to be a rap type deal. And Snoop Dogg came out and made fun of him and stuff like that. And
Really?
he went. He was like he talked shit to Snoop Dogg, and I
Wow.
could which Snoop Dogg's got a new album too with Dre, which that came out of nowhere. Did anybody check that out?
Not yet.
It's called Missionary.
Check
Yeah.
out Eminem's new CD, and I hear it's
Very good. Eminem's new album's very good. I like it. I know the Juggalo in me. I'm not supposed to say that, but Eminem is Juggalo rap. At Juggalos don't like hearing that, but he's because he's so influenced. He is influenced by ICP and Esham, so it's kind of their neck of the woods. Kandis, you didn't like anything off of that new Eminem album? Did you give it a chance?
I did. I listened to it because I didn't have a choice. Like everybody around me was bumping it. People sent me songs and stuff.
You didn't like
No,
it, huh?
Eminem for me is not even just about the Juggalo thing. Like, it's more like I don't like the sound of his voice. I don't like his raps. Like, I just don't like him as an artist. Like,
Yeah.
even if it wasn't a Juggalo, like it has
Like,
nothing to do with that.
talking Eminem, talking about the caramel coffee one or the peanut butter one.
The pretzel Eminem.
Oh, pretzel M&Ms. You want to be eating up, huh?
That's right.
one
Yeah,
of
I don't know. It was cool. I guess I watched a little interview or a little clip about him as Eminem talking to himself as Slim Shady as
Yeah.
like an AI. That was
Yeah.
pretty interesting. I'm not gonna say that his gimmick doesn't work for him, and I'm not gonna say that he's not a good lyricist. But
Yeah.
other than that, like I don't really like his music. That's all I'm gonna say.
I can respect that. Yeah, the whole album wasn't great, but half of it was pretty solid. But he's like all his like Revelation wasn't that good. I think it was Revelation. And then Kamikaze, those albums weren't really that solid, but everything else is pretty. I got to give it to him. And I remember a time like I was like when him and ICP had that beef. That's when I was like die hard into fucking ICP, like die hard, like but and people were like fighting over and everything. And back then it was like if you liked Eminem, dude, it was such like a bad look. It was funny. Now it's all like it's a mixed bag of opinions.
I honestly think it's the opposite. Like literally, like 90% of the juggalos I talk to, like on one-on-one basis, most juggalos like Eminem. I know personally more juggalos who listen to Eminem and back Eminem than
Yeah.
don't. Like there's only like diehard juggalos that if you were in it at that time and then you just continuously don't like Eminem, that followed through. And honestly, like the majority of the community is behind him. So I find that I'm actually the minority in saying that I still don't dig it.
Well, you are, and which is fine. I think it's because I think ICP and Twisted have both come out saying they're such fans That's why the Juggalos turned their opinion.
And I'm cool with that. That doesn't affect me personally, though.
Yeah, Chris Long, I know you're a big Juggalo down there. What's your opinion on the divide, the Juggalo divide over there?
I actually don't know much at all about Juggalo.
Eminem showed it.
My
Yeah,
daughter into some ICP, but
hell yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
but she's also into Eminem. So I guess there's no divide for her.
That's a whole like new generational thing too, because which is a beautiful thing. It's more open-mindedness. And I never remembered that back when I was in like high school, it was like hardcore kids were with the hardcore kids, hip hop kids were the hip hop kids, rock kids were the rock kids. There was never really a crossing over. The very few was there crossing over. Now it's like now everybody can just like whatever they want to like, which is a good thing. It's such a weird time when you really think about it, as far as like, was it people taking pride in what they like? That's so far with that, or was it just a closed-mindedness to like, okay, I like this one little thing. I don't think I would like anything else. What do you guys think that would be, Chris?
I think it's probably, first thing you said, like it's like you're in this group and this group likes this thing, so that's what you're supposed to like. And
Like an identity.
It is
yeah,
an identity, yeah.
really open themselves up to other things because they just felt like that's what they were supposed to be. So yeah, I definitely think this is a much better time in that aspect where kids nowadays can kind of like whatever they want to like, and everyone's pretty much cool with it. Like it's not like you can be friends with someone who has totally different taste than you, and that's okay. So I think that's a really good thing.
Because I remember, like,
Honestly, I think it's like a generational thing. Like back in the day, we didn't have a lot of social media. We didn't have a lot of openness in general. Back in the day, we were pretty limited to like our like very like parental experiences. So I think a lot of people are closed off in that way. I think it's a generation where like now it's much more an open idea of like social media and a lot more influences and a lot bigger pond, if you will, because back in the day we didn't have a lot like that. It was pretty basic.
yeah, it was weird. It was definitely weird. I've like mixed in with just all types of people in general throughout my life. Like been cool with all different types of people. But I remember being like cool with hardcore kids and like the hip hop kids just didn't mix. It was such a weird thing. And it's funny because now it's not even it's like more of a time, not even a generational thing. Because I'll know a lot of those hardcore kids like hip hop. Like when I talk to them now, they like hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And I wonder where that influence, that crossover kind of comes in. I know you take some people like Ill Bills and Necros and stuff like that, and they're hip hoppers that are influenced by heavy metal and hardcore and punk and stuff like that. So I don't know. And hardcore was very like proud. Like it was die hard, like it's our way or the highway type deal. Like people like posers, like people posers get beat up and shit if you're not really about the cause type deal. You know what I mean? And I think that the power of music, because it touches people and does so much things to people, that I think that like they felt that power of it, and they were like ready to fight for it and stuff and all that. And now it's just like it's just music. Now it's like as you progress, I guess it's just music, and you can love it and you can be proud of it. But I think it's like it's not worth like fighting or killing somebody over. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, it was troublesome. Even like the West Coast, East Coast rivalries of rap, where people were getting beaten up and killed over that, dude. It's just like, it's music. At the end of the day, it's music. It's like if people were killing people over podcasting. You know what I mean?
Didn't
Be a
something just
weird,
come out recently? I heard
probably.
about Diddy.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Diddy. Well, Diddy's
and now they're actually tying him to $1 million that was paid off
oh,
for
for killing Pac.
the assassination.
Yeah, Tupac.
They just had something on earlier today about this.
Yeah, well, Eminem. Speaking of Eminem, called it out a couple years ago. He said in a song that Diddy killed Tupac, and then it kind of trickled down from there, and it's become more of a thing. And there was a documentary. Anybody that's interested in like the Tupac Biggie thing, you seek out a documentary called Murder Rap. You used to be able to get it on YouTube, but then they pulled it down. You can't get it anymore, and it literally it's they got the dude who was covering the case. They all have all these other like specialists, and they break down what happened to like Tupac and Biggie. It's like the best documentary on it. Um, and now that it's been brought to light, like even in that, like Diddy paid this dude. I'm forgetting his name right now, but he paid this dude to kill Tupac. He never paid him the rest. He only paid him half the money. So then the guys started talking about it.
It does look like that's still available on YouTube.
Yeah, oh really? Yeah,
Yeah.
anybody go check it out on the tube. Maybe we'll throw it on the Patreon. Um,
I'm actually intrigued by that because I actually do like a lot of that type of stuff.
it's very interesting because you go like how do they never find, they recently had that kid that shot fucking the healthcare dude. And yeah, it's more modern time now, but if they found that dude with like half a face picture, they found him in like 2 days. With like Biggie and Pac thing, they never found out who killed him. But there's more people. It's like more of a thing.
Pac and Biggie was police cover up, FBI cover up. Those guys are getting too big.
It's a weird, yeah. That documentary, definitely check it out. It's very cool, and it's pretty much everything that kind of went down. I'm trying
Is
to
that
think.
the guy with the agent Pool or the retired guy Pool or something?
Yeah, there was he's like one of the main people they interview in it to get the scoop.
Is that the one that has like a cardiac arrest, like a heart attack at the end or something? They comes up on the screen.
Of what, him?
Yeah, the main guy that was on that case for I don't know 20 years. He ended up having a heart attack. I think.
Did he pass away or
I think so.
really? Yeah, he's a dude that they would scrub out. I think they even have Suge Knight. I think they interview him from like in jail. Um, he's a strange character, but yeah, it's very interesting. So speaking of movies, what are the big hot Christmas movies this year? You think? What are we gonna see?
I think Nosferatu is actually going to
Christmas Day.
come
Yeah,
out Christmas Day. I think it's going to do pretty well for itself, especially for the purists and the people that want to see it. And yeah,
the trailer looked good. I've heard a few people that some people seen advanced screenings of it and said that they were a little disappointed, but the trailer looked good. I'm not the dude who was it Robert Eggers, the director. Respect, give him much respect, but I think his movies are all a little overrated. Like The Witch, I didn't think was all that, and then The Lighthouse, it was like fun what he was trying to do, but it wasn't all that. And I think they're trying to paint him to be somebody that creatively that he isn't.
They're talking about Hammond-Eggers.
Hammond Eggers.
Hammond-Eggers.
Oh,
Ham
bad word. It's a bad word. The what are you talking about? I'm not familiar.
You know, when you got Eggers, you always go with the ham.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or bacon and Eggers.
I'd rather, yeah, that's how I'd rather spend my evening. The trailer for it looked good though. Are you down with Nosferatu, Robert?
No.
You and him got beef?
I'm not a big fan of horror movies that much, even though I worked at a screen park. We have a holiday haunt here in New England that's in Nashville, New Hampshire.
Hmm.
Every year, the Fright Kingdom has the Fright Before Christmas. This year they had 2 weekends.
That's scary.
Yeah.
So what big movies this Christmas? I'm assuming we're talking Beetlejuice, a film that was so good that the trailer made Billy cry. And then, you got up, Bill. I know. It's emotion, Bill. It's a good thing. Don't take it as a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Called nostalgia.
Nostalgia. It's yeah, it's
Yeah.
nostalgia. And then another film that Bill's fond of, Wolverine and Deadpool, which will probably that's probably the
Deadpool and
biggest.
Wolverine.
Yeah, well,
You gotta say it right, man. The Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool goes first.
Is there a third? Is it a versus?
No, it's and
What's the actual title? And
Deadpool and Wolverine.
I checked it out. It was good. It was good. Yeah, there was I got tear eyes a little bit towards the end when they did the teamwork to save the world. I'm a real man. I can admit that.
But I got to admit, the biggest laugh in the theater was, I'm only going to say 2 words: flame on.
There was a Biggie movie starring Johnny Depp that they canceled. They never released. You guys remember that?
I just recently watched that probably a couple months ago, 3 months ago.
How was it? It came out?
I had to stream it from somewhere. I don't know if it was YouTube or one of those kind of like underground sites or something.
Was it any good?
I liked it. I mean, he plays that guy, I believe, that passes away.
Okay.
Maybe I'm confusing the movies. I think that's the one that he plays that main detective guy.
Yeah.
And I guess he has a heart attack in one of the police like precincts or something, and they never revived him.
Oh, they just let him die?
I believe so.
Yeah. Oh, that's what happens when they're don't want.
I mean, it's all cover up. But yeah, I think now that you say Johnny Depp, I think that was the movie.
Is that how
go back and look? But
is that how they ended it? Ended the film?
Yeah, and then it's like on the screen it says like the guy's name. He had like a cardiac arrest while trying to like come up with like some guy that actually killed him or something. And they pronounced him dead. I don't think they revived him. I think they just let him go.
And they never as far as the Biggie thing goes, they never kind of tell you who they think killed him.
I mean, there's all conspiracies and
Right.
Like the main car for his was like the 96 Impala Sport or Super Sport. But I mean, a lot of the police officers, they drove those cars.
I wonder if that was during the time when everybody was like hating the cops, and that's why they kind of pulled it so there wouldn't be like, riots or whatever.
Maybe.
Possible.
I mean, there was a lot of those guys on that worked for Suge that was, police officers, bodyguards.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
because Suge's so sweet, you know what I mean? You gotta what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so one of the films that is kind of not really a Christmas movie, but Christmas times is Edward Scissorhands, and the fact that we got a Beetlejuice 2. Do anybody here think we'll ever see Edward Scissorhands Part 2 with with our boy Tim Burton and Johnny Depp?
Well, I know that supposedly after doing Beetlejuice, that they're going to do Beetlejuice.
Oh, really?
You said it 3 times.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Where are you, Beetlejuice man?
Bill disappeared. You made Bill disappear when you said that.
I saw the ending of Beetlejuice on YouTube.
Oh, don't spoil it.
pissed.
Don't spoil it.
I won't.
I guess if you want to, you can.
I want a signed copy of that Billy Coyne on the cover, though. I mean, that's a limited edition right there.
I heard about that. That should be a gift for everybody watching the Christmas special.
Oh, what the hell do you guys want from me now?
Maybe
we
we'll have
copies, Bill.
We'll have to get that graphic over to the editor of this show, Alexander the Hawk, and we'll throw.
Has anyone seen the movie Carry On?
No, I haven't.
Well, it's kind of making a big thing right now. It's a movie on Netflix. It is everyone's saying it's like kind of the next, course of action Christmas movie. It takes place at an airport during Christmas time, where you have Jason Bateman, who's playing this guy trying to smuggle this deadly virus onto a plane to, kill everyone on it. And this poor guy who's a TSA ends up getting, stuck in the middle of this kind of cat and mouse game. It's a lot of fun. I don't think it's going to be a classic. It's like I said, it's fun to watch.
Is that
But
on Netflix,
a
Hawk?
lot of people are kind of like,
Yeah.
"Hey, man, this is going to be like going to replace Die Hard. This is going to be the next, big, action Christmas movie." I mean, I enjoyed it, but I don't think it's going to be a classic like Die Hard or anything
Die
like
Hard.
that.
Yeah. Die Hard's classic. Die Hard's Die Hard, dude.
I like the second one a lot too.
Die Hard? That's my least favorite, to tell you the truth.
Rennie Harlan, dude.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes you don't quite hit. I seen Die Hard 2 in the drive-in with Dick Tracy back in the day. You know what I mean? But Die Hard 1, legendary status. Die Hard 2, I mean, I'd have to go back and give it a watch before I give it too many hard times. Die Hard 3, fantastic. You know what I mean?
I think Die Hard 3 is better than Die Hard 1.
Yeah, I could almost go there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson. And also with a young Aldous Hodge.
Who's the bad guy in Die Hard 3?
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons. Yeah, he was very good.
Star. From
I
Lion
got a good old Christmas movie that I love to watch every year. I don't really like Christmas movies per se, but there's two I watch every year.
Yeah.
So it's Friday After Next with
Okay.
Cat Williams and Terry Crews. That's my shit. Mike Epps. That one's really funny with the fucked up Santa. He's like robbing their house and they have the party. That one's one of my favorite, like, older Christmas movies. I heard, I mean, it was a while ago, but I heard they were trying to make Last Friday.
The father passed away.
Johnny Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was my favorite part of the whole thing.
He was so goddamn funny.
He makes the movie.
He really
does make the movie. Chris, get in here.
Yeah, good.
I've been smelling your shit for 18 years. You can stay in mine for about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
What be a good Christmas movie?
What's that?
I loved him as Pops in the Wayans Brothers. That's where I first saw him. I watched the Wayans Brothers. That was my shit. Like, that's what I remember him from more than the Fridays. But yeah.
Underappreciated Christmas movie that I've come to love in recent years. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Classic.
That's a good one. That's a lot of fun.
From the 1960s. It was a made-for-TV movie. It was a very low budget. It's a fan favorite on Mystery Science Theater 3000. And it's just, I ordered the Blu-ray, should be in here soon. But the only real name to ever come out of it was a very, very young Pia Zadora.
With it.
But I think she bought the Oscar.
Oh, you can do that?
Oh,
with enough money, you can buy anything.
Get a
Yeah.
campaign for it.
Hey,
Alex,
Shaq
you
paid
should
for
buy.
his platinum records for when he was a rap star.
Alex, you should. That's true. I almost bought that Shaq rap album once.
Did you hear the one with him and Biggie? The song?
Yeah, I have heard that actually.
That one's good.
did you play that?
Huh?
I had that. I think I had that burned when me and you were roommates.
Yeah, because I remember I remember discovering a lot of great rap from you. And yeah, I mean, that was always your thing.
Joe Pesci has a really cool rap song as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Toby Radloff from Killer Nerd, American Splendor, MTV, All Good Things. How you doing, Toby?
Doing well.
How was the concert the other night?
It was great. A lot of classic and unusual Christmas songs.
Was it an orchestra?
Things every year.
Yeah, I try to. Was it orchestral or what was the deal?
It was a men's chorus,
Okay.
and they've been doing this for well over 30 years every Christmas.
So we were talking about favorite films that are like Christmassy, but not Christmas movies. We talked about Die Hard, of course, which is a lot of fun. I gotta say, my favorite one is probably Eyes Wide Shut, the last Stanley Kubrick film.
Yeah.
I was listening to Joe Rogan recently. He had Tarantino and Roger Avery on his show, and Avery was talking about
I watched that episode.
it was very interesting. They talked about how they recut the movie after Kubrick died,
Mhm.
and they supposedly like there's like a sex trafficking storyline that they like cut out of the movie because there's people in Hollywood that don't want to be exposed, so to speak. And for anybody that knows the film, I guess the cuts that they made was the notes. Supposedly, the notes that Tom Cruise reads are all shot otherwise. Supposedly, the actual note in the film, the Kubrick version, it was saying something about they had to give up their daughter because of like what he's seen in the mansion. And then they say that the scene at the very end, when him and Nicole Kidman are walking through the store, um, like they usher, suppose they give their daughter to these two guys in like dress coats, and they leave with the daughter, which is kind of weird, you know what I mean? But I don't know if that's the truth or not. But great movie. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan.
I haven't seen it.
You've never seen it at all?
I don't think I have. No,
Are you a Kubrick fan typically, or
not that much. No.
no? All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I love Kubrick. But hell yeah. So, holiday themes, Tobe. What are you gonna do? What are you doing for the holiday this year? Anything cool?
Basically, like for Christmas, because I'm older now, because my parents are gone and everything, I'll be going to a friend's house on Christmas Day for dinner. I have somebody staying with me temporarily as a roommate. He's going to be moving out in January.
Yeah.
And he got me a Christmas gift of a new Battleship game.
Oh, hell yeah.
And, it's one of the electronic ones because the other one I had, the circuit board went out on it, and my friend bought me this new one off of Amazon. And when my friend Jay comes over on Saturday, we're going to try it out for the first time. So I like playing games with him.
So it's all digital, or is it kind of like the older one, I Sunk Your Battleship?
It's like the other talking Battleship, but it uses like a dial for you to set your ships and program your.
Yeah.
While the other one just push buttons.
Did you catch the movie when they made that movie Battleship a couple of years back? Did you ever see that?
I've heard about it, but I've never seen it.
It's a weird
Maybe I should see if it's on streaming.
It's probably streamed, but it's so weird. It's like, how are you gonna make a movie out of Battleship, the game?
Yeah,
Then-
like I can see G4
Yeah.
hit, G5 hit,
Yeah.
G6 hit,
Yeah.
G7 miss, G2 bam, save my battleship. I mean, imagine how like how the old commercials went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was one of my favorite games was Battleship.
What are some of the memorable games you can remember from your childhood?
Some of them I still play. I mean, I play Monopoly once in a while.
Sure.
But usually I'm playing Scrabble, Yahtzee, and I play card games.
Yeah.
But I remember like other ones I used to have, like, going back when I was a kid, like Candyland, Chutes and Ladders, Uncle Wiggily. And then there's like various games that are based on cartoons or TV shows. They're just basic board games, but I think a lot of those games are worth money now because you don't see them around anymore.
Yeah, the original Chutes and Ladders and then packaging is actually a pretty penny.
Yeah. Chris down below, he hustles games and toys and stuff like that. And you last time I think I seen you in the flesh, Chris, I think you just picked up a couple board games that were older, right?
Yeah, I'm always getting stuff. I'm always hustling something, but yeah, definitely. I got I got an original Mousetrap recently. I have some like older 60s like Yahtzee and things like that. So yeah, I'm always definitely in the board game and the toy game. So
Yeah. Like in my case, I got like other games in the closet. I think I got something like 8 or 9 different versions of Monopoly.
Hell yeah.
I got like the Cleveland edition, the Ohio State edition, the Star Wars edition, and then the Millennium 2000 edition. I got like an electronic one where you use like a credit card, and then there's like an expanded edition where they added additional spaces and properties. I think that was like a exclusive to Toys R Us, which is a Mega Monopoly game. And then I got like a couple of unauthorized ones. There's one called Ghetto-opoly. And even though it's not officially Parker Brothers, it like plays like the game. And then I got like other games I've had. I even got like an original Monopoly game from the 1930s, or the 1930s or 1940s, where some of the game pieces are wood, and the game pieces and cards and money were kept in a separate box from the game board.
Yeah.
And I got like other games, I picked them up either from fleas or thrift stores or whatever. I found for $3 an unopened, unplayed, and one that I'm not going to touch because it might be worth money in several years, even though probably after I die. It's the Donald Trump board game.
Okay.
I got that. It looks like it had never been played, and I'm just leaving that alone because that game could very well be worth money someday.
Oh yeah.
And then I got like an original 1966 battleship. I got like a concentration game, like based on a game show on television. It's the very first one from 1958. And I got like one that I had found at the flea market, something called Fascination. It was an electric game where you put batteries in it and you move metal balls around a maze to light up a tower. And that was a game that was around in the early 60s, and I found one that worked, and I got that hidden away in the closet as well. That was another game I had when I was a child. Even though I was always a single person, I always liked board games. I also have probably like several dozen decks of cards. A lot of them being like old, like from the 40s, 50s. I always like playing cards.
Whenever I see like a deck of cards, I always just grab it just to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're good.
Like I got like a deck of bicycle cards that were like made for the U.S. Army in the 1940s.
That's cool.
And I got like other cards, like some of them were like airline cards, cards like from airlines, cards that were like from vacation places. A few that were offered by cigarette companies. I got like Winston cards, Salem cards, Marlboro cards, Merit cards, Virginia Slims cards. I got like some of them that were from cigarettes. And I got like a bunch of others.
Back before cigarettes were bad for you.
Yeah.
Earlier, we were talking about games that, from our childhood that were almost dangerous. Can you think of any games from when you were younger that were like dangerous, either cut your hand open or get you in trouble somehow?
Lawn darts, jarts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it still sold those like well into the 80s and 90s until they...
Those chemistry sets back in the day. Chemistry sets lit some houses on fire.
Yeah, I had a couple of chemistry sets when I was a kid also. Yeah, but very so. I wasn't really that interested in chemistry, though. It just was one that my parents bought me when I was about 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
But it never really interested me. I was never really interested in science.
I got one chemistry set, I think, my entire existence, and I remember it came with the little capsules of like powdered chemicals and stuff. And I wonder how toxic that stuff actually. What if you could die if you ate one of them or whatever? If it would actually kill you, or if you would just
either that or would send you to the ER. I mean, usually they market those things like the older children, say like maybe like eight years and up, and
and then they were told to keep the items out of reach of younger children would get a hold of them. Say if it was a chemistry set, like a 9, 10, 11-year-old had the chemistry set, but there were also smaller children in the house. You had to be careful so the babies don't get the chemicals.
Yeah.
Some of those sets they were sodium based.
Yeah. And then there was one from the 50s that used actual radioactive material.
Yeah.
I saw photos of it.
Yes.
Scary.
It came like with a Geiger counter. I mean, I doubted if you could make an atomic bomb with that set, but
Yeah.
it was like called, I think it was called the Gilbert Atomic Energy Lab. And it actually came with, I think it actually came with uranium.
Made to you by Milton Bradley.
Yeah.
Did you shoot some of your scenes for American Splendor during the winter time?
Some of them were done in the winter, yes, back in 80. It was done mostly like in the fall of that year, I believe.
Yeah.
It was like right after 9/11 that we were doing those shoots. And it was done probably, and I think the last one was done like around November.
You know, we've all worked on movie sets here, like, but we know, of course, like the COVID, what happened with COVID during the, movie sets during COVID. Was there any weird stipulations or anything like that after 9/11 on movie sets?
I don't recall offhand, but I think there were like precautions in place. Yeah. I know that 9/11 happened right after, right before they started, right, I'd say like during the initial casting for American Splendor, because we did start shooting in September of 2001.
Yeah.
And we were done like probably by November, and then the movie was like in post-production for about a year, and it was premiered January, I think it was late January of 2003, when I went to Sundance Film Festival for the premiere in Utah.
Yeah.
And I remember it because it was like in the 40s in Utah, but it was like only in the single digits in Cleveland.
Yeah. Yeah, Sundance is very cool.
And yeah, I love Park City, Utah.
Very cool.
We shared like a ski lodge. Harvey and Joyce and Danielle were staying upstairs, and I was staying in a downstairs bedroom. And it went okay, but then again, Joyce Grafter has her bossy ways, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Joyce.
Yeah.
Because Joyce passed away not too long ago.
Yeah.
But as a Joyce pretty much kept Harvey's legacy going, and now it's cancer that took her away.
Is the daughter still keeping the legacy going?
Facebook. I just recently became Facebook friends with Danielle.
Yeah.
I think Danielle's living on her own. I think she's living in California now.
Is she the owner? Is she the owner of the American Splendor stuff, or?
I think it was probably handed over to her to continue the legacy.
Yeah.
Being the next in line with the family, even though she's adopted.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy named Lee Backdorf, who was like a close friend of Joyce Grafner's. I think him and Derry Dumb, one of the artists, is trying to keep the thing going as well. I mean, there's probably like a lot of stories about Harvey out there that could be written posthumously.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised they never tried to reboot. You need Harvey, of course, but kind of the material. They made the movie. You'd think that they could almost, not this day and age, reboot the comic strip. You know what I mean?
Who knows? I mean, even if it's made up stories, I mean, the stories have to be in line with what Harvey had been doing. But then again, between 76 and like up until the time he passed away, he produced a lot of material, either self-published comic books and graphic novels that were distributed since then. I've always imagined HBO doing a series of American Splendor, mainly because Harvey did write a lot of material, like, and then there's like also like enough material where they could do like sequels to the movie, you know, because Harvey had all these stories together. I mean, there was one that he wrote about a Vietnam veteran that worked with him in the file room.
Mm.
That would be a movie in itself. And he wrote like 3 comic books about that guy.
Yeah.
Comic book. And then, as I said, then I've told like, there's like all kinds of stories about me, about Harvey, about other coworkers that could end up, say, like in a TV series or another movie or 2 or 3. And even though it's been like 21 years since the movie was released in theaters. I mean, you could still get it on you could still stream it on Max. I know that.
Yeah.
It's still an HBO property. But I'm just surprised that, you know, that they haven't been able to do anything beyond the original American Splendor movie. And I would have thought that by the 10th anniversary, the 15th anniversary, or even the 20th anniversary of the movie, that the movie was never released to a Blu-ray disc.
Yeah.
Like they released a DVD, and then they released a VHS because it was like at the tail end of VHS.
It was.
I got both. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm surprised they never released a Blu-ray of it. But then again, a lot of people are shying away from physical media in favor of streaming.
Well, I can actually attest to that. But when I actually worked at the Virgin Megastore here in Boston,
Yeah.
American Splendor was always one of our best-selling titles.
Yeah.
And it always did well. And it just has a wonderful, reputation. And I think it was a lot of the Emerson students. I know it was a lot of like the, college students in the area that were discovering different movies that were, coming to the stores. And that movie just hit a chord. And, we were selling so many units of that movie. I remember when I was there.
Yeah, American.
Yeah, but I know that the movie does have a lot of its fans. I mean, I'm still recognized from that movie, even though it's been 21 years since it came out.
Yeah.
And there have been and I still have fans like when I was doing MTV, when I was doing Killer Nerd Townies. I got a lot of fans that weren't even born yet.
Right.
When I started doing this stuff. Tells you how much of a cult figure I've become.
Hell yeah.
What year was Killer Nerd?
1990.
Yeah.
Oh, 1980.
We shot it in 1989 and 1990, and the video first came out in 1991.
Okay.
And then Bride of Killer Nerd came out in 92.
Now, were you first picked up by Trauma, or did you have another form of distribution that
It was a small company called Hollywood Home Entertainment that originally released Killer Nerd and Bride of Killer Nerd, and then it was like out of print for a number of years, and that company went out of business, and then Wayne Allen Harold sold the rights to the 2 movies to Troma, and then by the end of the 90s, Troma released it to VHS, and then they released both the films on one DVD. And then like a couple of years ago, Wayne bought the rights to the 2 movies back from Troma, and Makeflix Video re-released it. That's a company owned by J.R. Bookwalter.
Yes.
They re-released Killer Nerd and Bride of Killer Nerd in limited edition VHSs, as well as a Killer Nerd duology that was released on Blu-ray.
I actually am a proud owner of the quad.
Yeah.
I want to see Killer Nerd Christmas. I would love to see a Christmas edition. Everybody they did the new Terrifier is Christmas themed. We need a new Killer Nerd for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if there was another Killer Nerd made, I'd most likely be doing a cameo in it, but I can imagine Wayne using somebody younger than me to play Harold Kunkel in our remake.
Yeah.
I'm like too old and too achy to do what I did back in '91 and '92.
Yeah.
But I could play maybe like like son of Killer Nerd, and I would be the father or the grandfather.
That would be great.
Character.
Should be the grandfather. You have your lineage.
Yeah.
And your kids basically are carrying on your amazing concept that was put there in the first movie. I mean, I think
like how I imagine it. Say it'll be set in modern times.
Yeah.
And Harold, say like the character would be named, say like Harold Kunkel the Third or Harold Kunkel Jr. And he would be cyber bullied. Not only would he be bullied in school, he would also be cyber bullied on social media. And then he would go through a Killer Nerd phase where he would again attack his bullies, and then get online and cause havoc on the internet with his cyber bullies.
He could have like a Horace Pinker where he goes into the computer type deal and kills people. That'd be funky.
Yeah. Like put some kind of internet magic or AI or something in it. And the moment somebody touches the keyboard or the mouse, he would be dead, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. To jump back to American Splendor real quick, I always thought it would make a great cartoon. You know what I mean? There's a lot of potential in the animated world with that.
Yeah, it would make a great animated series, I admit.
Yeah.
I could see Judah Friedlander doing my voice again, and I can see Paul Giamatti doing Harvey's voice and Hope Davis doing Joyce Brabner's voice again. But again, it would like depend on the estate of Harvey and Joyce.
Yeah.
And I would be glad to have Judah play my voice again, because Judah hasn't really been doing much lately other than stand-up. But Judah always seems to look up at my role as probably being one of the best roles he's ever done.
Hands down. Him playing you, he great. I think it is literally the best role he's done, even better than.
Yeah, I mean that's what people remember. They remember Judah. If it's not American Splendor, it's 30 Rock.
Yeah,
because those are the two best things that Judah was known for.
Yeah,
I met you.
Yeah,
yeah. I can't remember if I mentioned this story or not, but I met Judah when I finished a movie in New York City, and I was going to go to one of the Comic-Cons that was there, and the venue just you couldn't tell what kind of building you were essentially going into. But this what's it called, cab pulls up where I got dropped off, and it was actually Judah Freelander. And he's like, hey, you know where the entrance is to the convention? And I'm like, dude, I'm looking for it myself. And so the two of us are just, I mean, I love it because it's like world champion of the world, or, the thing that he promotes when he's on, 30 Rock, which is so funny. And
he wears those different hats.
Yeah, he wears the hats and he's got the glasses, like the real 1970s kind of thick glasses.
They look like Cazal glasses.
Yeah,
they're like back from the 80s, like Cazal type glasses.
Yeah, and so we walked in, we found it. We walked in, and we went down this escalator, and right at the bottom of the escalator was Guar, and apparently they were there as a guest as well. And so, I just kind of walked past, and I'm looking at Odorous, and I'm like, I remember you from Rock and Shock, and he's like, Judah, and I'm like, no, I just walked in with him, dude. And so, it was kind of cool because it was rare whenever, Brocky would be in and out of character. And he actually said it more out of character than actually like, hey, Judah, like he would, as Odorous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing, I mean, Judah still looks like he's got that long, moppy hair, and with the long, moppy hair and the beard. That's like part of his persona as well.
Yeah, and the hat.
Yeah, and then he had to end up having to cut his hair and shave his beard just to play me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, I know you've been reading, you've been going back and reading the American. There it is, right there.
It is, yeah, yeah. I just picked this up recently.
I think that's like one of the double day. I think it might have been one of the double day anthologies. Looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that was like from. I think that was like taken from the original 19. I think the original 18 or 19 self-published comics. I think.
Yeah, I gotta say, yeah, I picked this up. I would say like a couple of months ago, and yeah, I've been there going through it. I love it. I would love to see this as either a cartoon or live action. I mean, there's so much great stories and things in here that you can definitely very easily do a whole series based on American Splendor. I think
Yeah.
that would be awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, it is a great idea to do a cartoon version of Splendor.
Yeah.
Because Harvey told a lot of stories for years and years and years. And it would make a perfect, and it would make perfect for animation. Like how when they in the movie they like sort of interjected comic art with live action. It would make like an excellent graphic cartoon.
Yeah.
Is the daughter involved with the book that Alex pulled up? Was she involved with that, or is she staying out of the business side of things?
I don't know what Danielle is up to now regarding the legacy of Harvey, but I got a feeling she does want to keep the legacy going if she wants, because after all, I think she is. I think her and Backdoor were like part of Harvey and Joyce's estate.
Yeah, that's something I almost feel like if she got a crowdfunding going, because it'd be expensive to kind of print up new books. You know what I mean?
Yes, unless because that was like Harvey. It's like Harvey self-published cost him like $10,000. I think it was like $10,000 in 1980s cash to publish one self-published edition.
Really?
Yes, I think that's what it cost them, was like $10,000 to put out something like a couple thousand copies of an American Splendor. And that was like for the first 17, 18 volumes. That was before it went over to Dark Horse.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind reaching out to her too to maybe talk to her, because I think that if she could get some of those later self-published issues and then just crowdfund to release like a big book of them, I think people would get behind that for sure.
Yeah. But then again, I don't know what Danielle wants to do with these.
Hopefully something. You never know.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Danielle had stories herself about Harvey and Joyce.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that knew him. There's a lot of people, there's like a lot of stories about me, a lot of stories about Harvey. Those would all work in a cartoon.
Have you ever thought about like having a comic book for you, or like some type of graphic telling, like you're the main character and you go through...
I've imagined it, but being like part of an American Splendor type thing, where it would be all Toby Radloff stories.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it'd be definitely cool to see a cartoon of it, or even to see like a collected works, the self-published stuff, and people eat that stuff up. The stuff that wasn't published mainstream wise, that were more independent, even super independent. It was very independent to begin with, but even to be like the super, because like you said, if only a couple thousand went out the door. There's probably, I know you have a couple of them, but there's probably not too.
I got the whole run of the original. I think I got the whole run of the original self-published issues, and it took me a long time to get a copy of number 1, because Harvey was reluctant to get rid of one.
Yeah.
I did finally get a number 1 that came out in '76. I got the whole run of the self-published one.
Did you get it from him? You got it from Harvey?
I got it from Harvey.
And he didn't want to give it up?
He didn't really want to give it up because there weren't as many number ones out there, and already in the 80s, the volume one number one was already getting rare.
Yeah.
And that was the one that he originally did back in 1976.
Was he known to collect his own material? I know some artists stay away from it. They go, "Oh, that's like ego stuff." Or did he have a lot of it on file?
He had a lot of it on file. I wouldn't be surprised if Joyce Brabner archived that after his passing.
For sure.
And
Well,
like some of the, some of the later stuff, some was on Dark Horse. Some of the stuff from the original books was reissued by Doubleday on, in a graphic novel type format.
Yeah, I mean,
and as I said, I think, when after Joyce died, I don't know what Danielle is. It depends on what Danielle does with the estate.
yeah. I mean,
regarding Harvey's stuff.
Yeah, I'd be curious because Harvey's a legendary dude too, and he also all the collaborations he did with R. Crumb are pretty legendary as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Crumb, that's one reason why it's rare, because it's got a lot of Robert Crumb art in there, and I think like the first 9 or 10 issues had Crumb stuff in it.
Yeah.
Robert Crumb was somebody I've never met.
Yeah.
Because he became famous in his own right even before he met Harvey, because he was the one that did Keep on Truckin', Fritz the Cat, other stuff.
Yeah. What up, Shane? Insane Shane McKane, Toby Radloff.
Hello there. Look who's with me. Got my cat right here.
We've had a couple cats floating around on the show this evening.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it.
I'm not sure what I want to say about my cat, but I'm not sure it would be Christmassy.
Cat probably wants to climb up the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what these, it seems that the pussy always wants to climb up the wood. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it
No
goes.
doubt. It just happens. Even not on Christmas, sometimes it does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get her claws going, you know what I mean? Shark.
Yeah, that's. Oh yeah, we dropping pros, we dropping rhymes, we got the claws. Yeah.
Santa Claus doing it big. Toby, I get a question for you I wanted to ask. I know that American Splendor, 2001 it was at Sundance?
2003 it premiered at Sundance.
So
January 2003.
So like that, the Sundance is like the festival of the festivals, early 2000s.
That's like probably one of the biggest film festivals in the United States.
It's where everybody wants to go. You got Sundance and Cannes, you know what I mean?
That's basically the film festival that Robert Redford founded.
Started, yeah.
Up in Park City, Utah.
Yeah. So, like, what is it like to go to Sundance?
I loved walking around Park City.
Yeah.
Park City's a nice mountain town. I'd say about probably like 30 miles or so from Salt Lake City. Because I remember flying to Salt Lake City and then getting in a limo going to Park City. And it was real nice. They have like a real nice downtown, like with a number of theaters and restaurants, clubs, stuff like that. It's a nice walking town. You got like ski resorts there. And then out on the outskirts, you got your usual groceries and big box stores and cineplexes.
Yeah.
It's like at one of those cineplexes where there was another American Splendor premiere where I met Steve Buscemi.
Yeah,
at one of the screenings.
I heard that the whole town, when Sundance comes, every building that you could rent out to put a theater in, you'd have a bar that put a movie screen in there. You had, a hairdresser that put a movie screen in there, just to be able to screen you had Sundance, which was the main draw, all the bigger films going there, but all down the strip, it was just anywhere you could put a screen, they were screening movies,
Yeah, you had like competing little festivals, say like Slam Dance
Right.
or No Dance.
Trauma
Sort of
Dance.
like taking off on the Sundance name.
Oh, yeah.
And it was mainly like small independent films.
Yeah, well, Trauma Dance. I know the Insane Shane McKane down there got almost had a little rendezvous with the Trauma people.
Yeah.
I think I think I might be in the movie. I don't know, man. I really don't.
Shane was a Citizen Toxie, the Toxic Avenger 4.
I guess the one with Corey Feldman.
Feld Dog.
That's all I know.
Yeah, Corey's been in a lot of low budget stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This
one, the one died. I had it out with him. I didn't really like him, I wasn't having a good day there, but
yeah.
I met Lloyd and all those motherfuckers and whatever. But yeah, I saw Kabuki Man and the car was burning and it was pretty dope. But yeah, they gassed my hair back like Hitler and put a freaking Hitler mustache on me. And,
yeah.
Oh, it's terrible,
Kabuki Man just died. On Fort Rest in Peace. Yeah.
Hell happened. He wasn't that old.
Hawk, why am I forgetting his name? Doug Sackman. How could I forget Doug Sackman? Very young, freak accident type deal. Yeah. He's like maybe 43, 44, something like that.
Yeah, dude, I can't believe I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, rest in peace. Doug he was a good dude too.
Yeah,
those guys were fun. They were campy, I mean, it was a cool place, but they didn't treat us very well on set, and I just was like, I'm out of here, man.
They're not known. Yeah, they're not really known for treating people super well. I got nothing but love for Lloyd and the environment of I'm more of like an older Trauma fan. But it's always been cheese sandwiches and sleeping on the floor. You know what I mean? You gotta pain for your art. Go through the pain for your art. It gets you ready for making your own 50 Cent movies, I think. But I know you worked for MTV for a little bit. How'd the MTV thing kind of come about?
What happened was that Harvey was appearing on the David Letterman show back in 1985, around there.
Yeah.
And he got in touch with some MTV people, and they wanted to come to Harvey's place of employment and my place of employment, the VA hospital file room, to do some segments. And they sent a crew in from New York, led by a guy named Stuart Coyne. And we were doing like a few things. And I think one of the first ones is where I was talking about being the genuine nerd. And I was like, Harvey introduced me to them. And I sort of picked up fame right from there, because MTV's audience was, very receptive of what I had to say when it appeared on the MTV news segment. And that's led to them coming to Cleveland a couple more times to do other stuff.
Yeah.
Including the one where I went to McDonald's, one of the last ones in Cleveland that had the old golden arches, and I went to Crumbly Burger, which served food, like loose ground beef on a bun similar to a made right sandwich.
Yeah.
And then I went to White Castle, which had recently opened in the Cleveland area. And it was there where I came up with with the term, say no to drugs, say yes to White Castle, because even before MTV, I mean, I was introduced to White Castle after going on a road trip to Cincinnati with a guy from my computer group. And we stopped at White Castle on the way home, one up in Columbus. And I loved the burgers. And since I made like road trips like toward Columbus or toward Detroit in order to have the burgers.
Yeah.
And I've made like several stops since, in 84, 85, 86. And then they started opening White Castles in the Cleveland area. And Harvey wrote about that in one of the comic books about me going to White Castle. And then I brought that up with the MTV as well. And that got picked up in the movie American Splendor with Judah Friedlander talking about the white, Judah would say, no, you can't have any of my White Castle hamburgers. But then it was through there that I found out that Harvey was a vegetarian.
Oh, yeah.
Because I offered Harvey a hamburger and he didn't want it. And that was how I found out he wanted the fries, but not the hamburger.
Yeah.
That's how I found out that Harvey was a vegetarian.
Say no to drugs, say yes to White Castle is a great marketing thing. I'd love to have that.
And I still would say that today, even though White Castle's no longer around here. I did make a trip last summer, the one up near, I think it was up near Newark, Ohio, up near Delaware, Ohio, Sunbury.
Yeah.
In Sunbury, Ohio, they had a White Castle right off I-71, and I had sliders there, and I made a Facebook post about it myself, and I got like a lot of likes on it.
Hell yeah. I know.
Somebody, a Facebook friend sent me like a $20 gift card for White Castle, and I decided to make a road trip, and I went to this one up in Sunbury, and that was where I had the burgers, the fresh ones for the first time in a long time. Otherwise, I'd be eating the frozen ones from the grocery store.
Yeah.
But the fresh ones are a lot better than the ones from the grocery store, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
It would have been cool to see.
It's worth driving. It's worth driving to Columbus to get it, if you know what I mean.
Hell yeah. Ohio is where it's at.
Yeah.
It would have been.
It's just a shame that they pulled out of Cleveland.
Their mistake. It would have been cool to see you and Shane on MTV together. Shane over here in the bottom right, international shock star, underground legend over here, the king of country bling, Mr. Insane Shane McKane, country rapper, one of the first, I believe, if I remember correctly. Right? Are you the first person to dabble in or close to it?
I think so. I think I planted my flag, and just to chime in, because it was pretty intense, I've also been to White Castle. It was good.
I've never been.
I've
never been in my whole life. Yeah.
I personally think, and I think we're all on the same page here.
Yeah.
In the year 2024, I think the name of that franchise needs to be changed.
It's offensive, yes.
Oh, I'm just saying. I mean, let's talk about it. This is no joke. This is woke. Okay? Yeah. This is no joke. It's woke. Change the name or go broke. Mic drop. But anyway, I think we're done with the White Castle subject, or I'm hoping. But go ahead. Yeah, I did country rap. That's my thing. I started it when Kid Rock was morphing, going over from rock rap, and then he decided he's going to be a country guy. And yeah, that's when I got into it. And my sound was, I thought, what, they would want. And well, you know the story. They bought the CDs and he wouldn't do the songs and he wouldn't work with me. And I got all butthurt and had to go into a place, a retreat. I had to do a lot of soul searching and praying to gain closure. Yeah. And I did. And I went on the radio and, they were like, how did you make peace with the fact that he wouldn't work with you, And I said, I'm going to share it. It's personal, But what I came to is I uttered these words. I said, I said it. You hear it. Kid Rock got a face like a ferret.
Yeah.
And they asked for an explanation. I said, in bold contrast, my GQ's higher than my IQ. If you agree with me, then homie, I like you. And that was it. I never looked back, But yeah, so country rap was my thing. But, Merry Christmas to everyone. I just want to say, I happen to be a Hebrew hero.
There it is.
Yeah. And this chick the other day, this chick that I want to be nice and clean here, that I every now and then fornicate with.
Yeah.
And she said to me the other day, she was like, "What do you want for Hanukkah?" I was like, "Girl, dude, I don't celebrate this. What, Passover? I let it pass over. Rosh Hashanah, I rushed through it. When's the last time the last Jewish thing I ever did was quit being Jewish only after every single gift check from my bar mitzvah was cleared in my account, not every penny. I was done. I said, bitch, you want to celebrate Hanukkah? You don't have any goddamn money. Okay. It's 8 days. I want 8 gifts. $20 minimum each day. Happy Hanukkah. Bah hump tug.
I like your style in that. Get
Yeah,
those
that's good.
20s.
What's up, man? So I have plenty of 20s. Actually, you want to see my wallet, dude? It's pretty dope. So this is my wallet right here. You know, I pull this fucking thing out like that. See it? It's a wallet.
Nice
Oh,
wallet.
okay.
So yeah, it's like 100. So I don't want to monopolize this, but as an ADD aside, so I'm at the Dollar General, and there's a kid who's at the register, and he looked privileged. He looked like he had something extra. I think it was a jean, and he looked at the wallet and he said, in front of a lot of people, "I didn't know they made hundreds that big." And I asked, "Have you ever seen one?" Yeah. But anyway, in that wallet, I tell people, no, Ben is my friend, but I don't have a lot of Bens, but I always got a handful of tens. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's what's up.
Traded it in for say, can I get change for this 100 and get a couple 20s? Very nice. Walk out.
20s.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
So that answers the question why we never got an Insane Shane McKane Christmas song, which the world needs out there. You know what I mean?
I guess, I never really did it, Actually, I started one once, and I forget what it was. It was like, "Bah, motherfucking humbug," but it never went anywhere, But
Well,
I will tell you, did I ever tell you this, man? So when, and I just heard from her, or she liked one of my Facebook posts or something, but my old girlfriend, Snow White Trash,
I think I
that,
remember her.
yes. Oh, yeah. Yep. You sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was a trip, man. That was some Sid and Nancy shit, but no one died. But so yeah, one time, we took this little, outing, and we went up toward like Lake Ontario and that whole Western New York place. And we had a really nice weekend, and we're driving through all this flat farmland, and it was right around Christmas. And I'll never forget it, man. So we're driving past this like trailer right on the road, like a real, just, rednecky trailer. They had a manger scene it had to be 25 feet with life-size figurines and a manger and a baby. I mean, it was insane. So I stopped. There was no cars there. She got a camera. I got right in the middle of Mary and Joseph. And right over the bassinet with baby Jesus. I got my arm around Joseph and Mary, and I'm looking down, all excited and smiley into the thing. Fucking, I looked like one of the figurines. So I don't know what we ever did with it, but we put a caption over it that said, "Insane Shane McKane, there's a stranger in the manger." Oh, it was dope. Priceless. With my cowboy hat with the fucking, the flames on it, with my arm around Mary and Joseph. Looking at Jesus. Oh, it was dope. Anyway, yeah. So I just got to ask you guys, because it's serious. These drones
Yeah.
have red lights and green lights.
Santa Claus.
Well, is it Santa Claus clones, or are they extraterrestrials coming down here to celebrate Christmas? I mean, I haven't seen it on the news, but I'm assuming it's a very relevant issue.
Yeah. I used to believe in UFOs, and then the government said that they're real, and then I don't know whether or not to believe them.
Oh no, they're fucking real, bro. I don't know about these drones
Yeah.
with their red and green lights, with their FAA compliant shit, sniffing out nukes and whatever the fuck they're doing.
In New York, wasn't there like a batch of like 1,000 drones that looked like a big craft, but it was like 1,000 drones or something like that?
Well, that I've been really following this shit, and apparently, like the Chinese have, and you probably know this, like drone art, where they
Yeah.
fly like 1,000 drones in the air, and they're all computerized, and they make these beautiful pictures and banners and things. And apparently, I think Elon Musk's brother bought a whole company that does this.
Hmm.
So he's got access to like 1,000 fucking drones. So the fact that there's drones around, it's not really that, like, oh, 50 drones came in. Oh, big deal.
Right.
What's that enough to create for art? Like a penny? You know what I mean? In the air.
If
So,
you
but hey, man, we'll see.
if you're doing research, look up. I don't know who said it, but there was like a very old interview, like very, very old. Maybe somebody else here might know, where they were talking about if they ever wanted to get everybody to join, like all the world powers to join forces, so to speak, or to get on the same page, that
Yeah.
there would have to be like an alien invasion type deal.
Well, Reagan said that in
Did
one of
he?
his speeches.
Oh, I think there was like an even older one too, but it
I believe it. I
could have
mean,
been Reagan. Yeah.
well, you could be right. The only one I know of is when Reagan said it was right around the time that he was, coming up with the concept of Star Wars, the dome
Yeah.
that essentially is what Israel has. And by the way, I just want to let you know this because I've been really getting down with politics and all this shit like that, which I never have, but I really kind of delved into it, and it's interesting. So when Reagan came up with the premise of Star Wars, this dome, this thing, with the satellites that would shoot things down and the protective dome, which Israel implemented and has been a saving grace for them. Well, you know who at that time, before he had fucking dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and stupidity, simultaneously, was Biden.
Yeah.
Biden, he's the one that actually got up and ridiculed Reagan, poked holes in Star Wars, bashed it, said it was ridiculous, it would never work, it was totally unfathomable, unrealistic, silly, and the bottom line is it did work, and the only thing that doesn't work right now is Biden, ironically enough. So yeah, that's the guy who said it. And Reagan's exact words were, and he looked ominous when he said it. He was like, and I'll do it in his voice. He was like, just imagine now that we actually had the threat of an alien presence from out of this world, how quickly our differences would be set aside. That was pretty fucking good. Just saying. Go ahead, you can tell me how good it was.
You got to buy an Oscar. That's Oscar buying worthy right there.
Right there. Jim Brady. Now Jim Brady is a vegetable. Pass the broccoli, Nancy. Where's my wizard cap with the sun and the moon on it? All right, there you go. Didn't see that coming.
There's also look up interdimensional demons. I know you're a spiritual guy. There's some theories that that's what aliens are and UFOs. They always triangulate, and triangles are they're up in the dark crafts a little bit. I thought, yeah, that's very interesting stuff. The interdimensional demon thing, and it's all about like how they're there. So like if you go, okay, there's aliens, so God must not be real type deal, and like
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a big one.
yeah, that's the theory behind it. It's interesting, but it could
There's a
be
lot of shit going on. And that right there, what you just said there, that's like the Pandora's box. Like you open that, that's a rabbit hole that goes from like Kansas to China.
yeah.
Fucking problem. The minute that extraterrestrials come here and they say, and people are like, well, It's written in the scriptures, and the aliens are like, "What the fuck are you reading? Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?" Yeah, no, you got to realize that Christianity, religion, the opiate of the masses, it's a handbook, a template, a set of mores, rules, commandments that keep us from indulging our mad, manic, monkey mayhem.
Yeah.
Once that's dispelled, these Christians are going to go fucking cuckoo.
For
Just
sure.
saying. That's scary, man, for real. So that's the thing I worry about most. When their doctrines, their religions, in some ways, when extraterrestrials cast doubts on this, it's going to be very, very traumatizing for a lot of people. And I really, honestly, in a heartfelt way, I I'm worried. I grieve for them, because this is their whole life. This is it. This is what they're committed to. This is what it's like their mantra of spirituality, and they're going to be lost without it, man. So I don't know.
I still don't know about the alien. Toby, what do you think? You think aliens are real? What are we talking? What are we dealing with there?
I've never really given that much thought, but I still like wonder about the UFOs that are flying around. I mean, they spot like a couple of them outside of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton. But
Yeah.
I still wonder if they could be U.S. drones, if they're privately owned drones, or if they came like from China or Russia or somebody and using them for spying. But I just basically, just follow the news and see what the news is.
Yeah.
I still think there might be aliens among us, but that's something that I don't really think about much, although it could happen.
Because they say that we don't we get technology like 10, 20 years after the government does. You know what I mean?
Basically,
And you
what
think
started in the military ends up being another household convenience in the future.
right. And we've had
I think like microwave ovens came out of the military,
deep fryers.
television came out of the military, radio came out of the military.
Yeah. And we've had drones for what, 15 years or so, maybe 20 years?
Maybe like 20, 25 years. I mean, ranging from toys to professional drones.
Yeah.
I still sometimes wonder, like some of those drones that fly at night, it could be, just teenagers flying drones at night just for the hell of it.
And I
Or it
wonder
could be Russian spies.
I wonder when sightings actually really started taking off. I feel like 70s, 60s, 70s. So like I don't know, maybe they were playing around with some of that technology. I don't know, the alien thing, it's interesting. Definitely interesting. I'm not like sold either way. Like, yeah, there definitely could be, or maybe there isn't, or there could be, and maybe that's not even what we see. There's a famous conspiracy theorist guy, William Cooper, who worked for the Navy, and he claims that he was on the boat and he seen a ship come out of the water, fly up into the air, and then he said it came back down really quick and it stopped right before it hit the water, and then it slowly went into the water. And that kicked off his whole thinking about everything. Well, if they're not lying about this, what else are they lying about? Now later in life, he said that okay, I don't really think that was aliens. Like in the beginning, I did, but now I think it was the government just with the technology they had, and he was a dude that predicted like 9/11, and he had like his own like pirate radio before it was a thing. Like nowadays you can go on Zoom and talk about anything, but he was talking about it before and they actually killed him. He was a dude that was killed. We got a show on the network called Behold where we say, hey, it's interesting that nowadays people can talk about these things and it's entertainment, it's fine. But like 30, 40 years ago, these things would get you killed type stuff. So it's just really it's so I don't know. It's if I'd be suspect to anything. If the aliens came out, if the news popped on one day and it was a president standing with an alien and he was like, this is like Tebow, Tebow 1400 or whatever, and he's an alien life. We've been communicating with him. I still don't know if I'd believe him. I'd be like, because we don't really get the truth that often. We get certain doses of truth, but like something as important as that, like another life form communicating, like I don't know.
Right. Like I've always seen that the moment I die, my soul would end up being a life form in another universe.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got one for you, man. That's gonna freak you out. Can you hear me? Or
We got you. I'll even make you. I'll make you the only face on screen for this, Shane. You ready? There you
all
are.
right? Well,
Star.
oh, all right, whatever, man. So things. For starters, did you ever hear that? Because I've heard it a number of times, but Richard Nixon was friends with Jackie Gleason. Are you familiar with this story or no?
I'm not. No,
Not really.
All right. So Nixon, Jackie Gleason was down with Nixon, and one time they were hanging out, and tricky fucking Dick Nixon was like, "Come on, Jackie, get in the car," you know. So they got in the car. He goes, "I'm going to take you somewhere. You're going to see something you're never going to see again." So they go up to like this military place in the middle of nowhere, and he just pulls up to the gate. No entourage, no limo. He just pulls up, and the guards come out, and they're like, "Sir, you can't come in here. You're on your." And then they look and they see it's Tricky Dick, and they're like, "Oh, well, Mr. President, yes, Mr. President," and he's got Jackie Gleason with him. He's like, "He's with me," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They let him right in. They go into this facility. They go way down, and Jackie Gleason sees an actual alien, one of these fucking grays, just imprisoned in this thing.
Yeah.
It says, "There you go. Now you know they're real." And Jackie Gleason, if you Google it, look into it, man, when you're done with the show.
Sure.
Jackie Gleason came home and he was just bugged out. And he still talks about it. He's heavy into it, but that's the story. Yeah, he took him down there. Me personally, I've seen UFOs probably 10 times in my life, sometimes so close that I was actually afraid of the theory of abduction. Like, I was so damn close to the thing. I'm like, yo, I can see everything on this ship. Like, this is too fucking close.
Yeah.
And also in the Hudson Valley, I'm right in the hub, the hot spot of it, What was that something in the sky, fire in the sky with Christopher
Fire in the
Walken?
sky, yeah.
Happen around here, So the other thing I wanted to touch on, and then I will relinquish the screen, is I wish I could articulate it really well, but they're making reference to things in the scriptures about things that are happening now. Some of them are really kind of grasping, reaching, but some of them are really, really haunting and a little too spot on. Like, you can see the correlations. And one of them said something about, I hope I get this right, so you get the essence. I know I won't get it scripturally, but it said something in the scriptures about, and there will come a time when man will pray for death, but will not have it. Like, you won't be able to die. And and they started talking about what Elon Musk is doing with that Neuralink chip, saying that once your mind is connected to the mainframe, when you die, you end up in there with everything else, and you don't die. You're trapped in there like Dante's fucking cyber inferno.
Yeah.
Did you guess that? That is some trippy shit. So no fucking Neuralink is going in my brain. Man, fuck that.
Yeah, I believe the scripture is from Revelations. And
It's Revelations 9:6.
Yeah.
Bro.
I didn't have that memorized. I looked it up.
It's after, I think it's after the rapture, I believe. And it's everybody who's left behind. Yeah, it's when like the locusts and like the weird creatures come, and they like people get like more, what is it? You get like wounded, like where you should be dead, mortally wounded, but like you just won't die. You have to lay there in pain and agony type deal.
It's like a purgatory, but the premise
Because it's
of
not.
that your psyche into this, into like because if everybody's got a Neuralink, man, dude, we're as telepathic now as the extraterrestrials. Like, think about it.
Well, I always wondered, how the human brain doesn't, you don't use your whole brain. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I do, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
No, that's not what I hear. That's not what I hear. But so like, it's like if we were able to use our full brain, would we be able to talk telepathically to each other? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So why do you think we don't use it? I
You
have a
want to know
theory.
something?
I got a
We
theory.
do. We do. But go ahead. You first, bro.
So my theory is that having that much power is a problem for people. The powers that may be. So I feel like when you're born, I feel like there's a vibration or some type of hum, some low frequency noise that shuts it off, that you just get used to it from a baby and don't even realize it's happening.
Okay.
All right, what's your
I,
theory?
my theory is that when you come into the world,
Yeah,
you're completely open, which is why children are so perceptive.
yeah,
And based on the fact that we are fear-based, we as children, we are, what's the word? Oh, I wish I could get this. We're afraid of the dark,
right.
but as adults, we gravitate toward it. It's idolatry. We grow away from the spirit because we're afraid as we grow up and we're conscious of what it's all about. So we create man-made things, idolatry. We worship false things so we don't have to think about that vessel, that flow, that hum. We
Yeah,
grow away from it. Now, those of us that become enlightened, we become Sigma, and we filter all of that out, and we return back to what was, which is purity, which is a flow. When I get up in the morning, I go outside. I don't think about all this crap. I watch the leaves dance in the wind to the consonant flow of the universe, and I hear spirituality. So at the end of the day, here's what I can tell you, Matt. We do use our telepathic stuff. Thinking is the maze of man. Feeling is the breath of God. That hum that you talk about, I call it the psychic fingerprint. Your spirit is a configuration of energy that mimics what's on your thumb. Your fingerprint is different than everybody else's. Now, how does it work? We are using it. So all of a sudden, you're sitting there and you're saying, that guy that I went to high school with, man, whatever happened to that guy? And you start thinking about him. What you're doing is you're conjuring up, you're remembering that time when you were together. You're honing into his psychic fingerprint, and he is feeling your vibration touching his vibration. Doesn't matter where he is. Could be here, he could be in Vietnam, could be in Thailand. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get an email, you get a text, you get a call. Hey, I was thinking about it. That's how it works. And that is why we do use that thing. But we don't, if we consciously developed it and understood that when you really think about someone and you imagine a time, and I can tell you, this is the last thing I'll say. If you want to do this, try it for yourself. Think about someone you haven't seen in a while and close your eyes when you're alone, or open your eyes, open your third eye, and just try to remember a time when the two of you were together and it was real. There was a real connection there, a love, a sharing of some sort. Think on that, because that's the most powerful way to touch psychic fingerprints. That's how you'll do it. They will feel that energy, that love, that nostalgia, and do it till you know they felt it, and you'll hear from them.
I believe that. I remember me and you, I think we've talked about this too. There was like a space of time where me and you didn't talk for a little bit. No beef or anything like that. As things happen, you know what I mean? And I remember I was thinking of you, and then the next day you called me up and we had like the same conversation. So I definitely believe that stuff, you know what I mean? We are all linked. They say that even if you shake somebody's hand once, that you're forever um linked to that person.
You got it. You hit it. I wouldn't have said that, but if I want,
You gotta kiss them too. Yeah.
I can do that. I can not only that, I can actually come to people in dreams, bro. It's if you know how to do it. And yes, you're absolutely right. When you touch someone physically, when you hug someone, when you really hone in on their psychic essence, what I call, my term is their psychic fingerprint. Once you get it, and once you put it in your virtual black book, once it's in you, you can always conjure that up. And so we are telepathic. And if we used it more and developed it, didn't block it out. The analogy is a child that learns to talk. It knows it can do it. Yeah. But unless it does it all the time, diligently, eventually, it codifies a way of figuring out this language, how to communicate it. And that's the same analogous thing you can do with telepathy. If you first you have to say, I believe it will work. That way you're not blocking it. If you think it out, like you said, you'll block it, it doesn't exist. If you open your mind and you say, based on what I've experienced, there's something to this, and I'm going to suspend my disbelief and give this a try. And I'm going to think about people. I'm going to think about that time when, we had this heart-to-heart talk. And believe me, you will touch that other person's spirit. So you didn't realize I was that intelligent. I'm smarter. I'm smarter than I look.
I'm smarter than I look. That's right. That's Insane Shane for you.
That's my trap. I'm smarter than I look. And it's just like my mom said, and she was right. I am special.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap it on up. But thank you guys for coming out. Always a pleasure. You know what I mean? Toby, always a pleasure, my friend. Shane.
Thank you. Let me know when you want to do another Zoom.
Yeah, we'll do another one soon.
Yeah.
Chris and Chris, always a pleasure. Chris the chef, welcome to the family.
Thanks for inviting me, being the rookie and all.
Yeah, this was your virgin episode. So before everybody else here has done multiple episodes with the BoomBastic family. So your cherry's been popped, mistletoe has been flopped, and you're ready to rock and roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Alex, it's always a pleasure.
Always.
Yeah.
It's been surreal,
Hell yeah.
And wishing everybody a happy XXX mess,
Right.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
More fun than you can.
And I wish everybody and all of yours a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Nice meeting you guys.
I wish everyone a happy Jew year,
Yeah.
And especially to all the folks out there.
That dreidel.
Everybody spin a dreidel for Shane. You know what I mean?
Dreidel. I made it out of clay. Dreidel. I spin it all the way. Something like that.
I dig that. We're gonna do a soundtrack. One of these days, we're gonna do like a nice musical. We're gonna have to incorporate music into the show. It'll be maybe next year. It'll be fun. But we hope everybody out there enjoyed the show. I know we enjoyed bringing it to y'all. We hope everybody out there also has a very safe and happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Spend it with the ones you love, and that is the gift in itself. So with that being said, we'll catch y'all next year on the BoomBastic's Yuletide Christmas Show 2024. Wrapping it up.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Nice meeting everybody.